Hey, thanks for stopping by Mystic Messages. If you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. I hope everyone is doing well. Before we begin, I'd just like to remind everyone that I am not on any platform other than YouTube. So if you see these videos anywhere or anything with my image asking for donations or contacting you, please know that is not from me and, don't get scammed. So that being said, let's begin. Today's message is from God Most High, okay, Source, who I call God Most High. God Most High to me is Source, and the Ascended Mothers, okay, which, for me are all the Ascended Mothers, Mother Mary, Mother Gaia, um, Goddess Diana, etc. Today we're going to talk about something very important that they wanted me to express to everyone, okay? The love frequency, okay? Unfortunately, due to lower vibrational individuals, uh, many of us have become distrustful of others. We have become angry because of the harm that has been inflicted upon us. Okay. We have become disillusioned, which is all a clever tactic used to keep the vibration low. Okay. And if we want to succeed, okay, as as a race, okay, of individuals, okay, if we want to succeed as a planet, we must increase the love frequency if we're called to do so. Many don't have it in them, but wonder why things don't turn out the way that they like. And a lot of it has to do with love frequency and gratitude, okay? These things are very important. Being able to love unconditionally. You don't have to agree with someone to love them unconditionally, okay? Loving animals unconditionally, okay, loving the planet unconditionally, and that means taking care of the planet, okay, not being wasteful, okay, not polluting, being reckless and throwing your garbage on the floor or refusing to recycle. These are not, showing love to Mother Gaia who supports all of us, who protects us, who provides us with the air that we breathe, who gives us the ground that we sit on. Okay? They want us to increase the love frequency if we have it within us to do so. And if we don't, please try to find out what it is that's blocking you. Okay? They understand that many of us have been hurt and have been challenged in many ways. Okay? Again, if we could look at those challenges at times, for the lesson that they are, okay? We have to take responsibility for ourselves as well. Okay? We have to say, if we're receiving a challenge, did I do anything in my past that brought on this negative behavior? You know, am I being grateful enough for all the things that I have? Okay, there's so many that don't have. I try to, and I'm not perfect at it, but I try my best to always be thankful for everything that I have, to remind myself to be thankful. Okay, to be thankful for the roof over my head, for the food in my stomach. Every time, we sit down to eat something, do we thank and bless Mother Gaia for providing for us? Okay, providing the food that we eat. Okay, and for those who eat, eat meat, do you, bless the animal that gave its life in order for you to eat? Do you think of others who don't have food? Do you think of others who don't have shelter? Okay, we often forget when we live in our own bubble that there are other people struggling worse than us, and okay, we go through bad things every now and again, but if we can learn to look at them through the lens of love and say, okay, you know what, maybe this is some type of karmic debt that I have to pay, whether it be generational or something that you did personally yourself, just face up to it, suck it up, pay the karma, and move on, and try your best not to let it damage you or to damage who you are. And trust me, I've been through the ringer in life. So I know this is not difficult. I mean, I know this is difficult, excuse me, to be able to love unconditionally, you know, when you're hurt, when you've been deceived, when you've been lied to, okay, by so many people. I mean, that's been basically my entire life. And you know what? I used to resent that when I was younger. And I learned not to resent it because I said, you know what? What good is it going to do me to be resentful? All it's doing is lowering my vibration. And for those who want to ascend, okay, you have to have a high vibrational frequency so that you can match the things that you want. If you are in a constant state of fear, anger, ungratefulness, okay, disillusionment, okay, if you remain in that, that's what you're going to attract. It's all about frequency, okay? So, what they're trying to say to us today is they're trying to guide us into creating a better world, okay? And we can do it. This is possible for everyone. We can do it. We just have to work at it, okay? And it's going to be difficult at times, especially if you've been screwed over most of your life. I get it. But you have it within you to do it. And for most who I'm speaking to, I know this was in your hearts before. You did love before you've been damaged, okay? Damaged by the lower vibrations. Like I said, this is all a tactic to keep us where we are today. If you look around the world, look at the discord, look at the nonsense, all these illusions that are being created to keep us in fear, to keep us in hatred towards one another. We have to wake up to that. We got to be smart about it, okay? What good is hating another individual going to do for you? Okay? If you don't like somebody, stay away from them. You don't have to hate them. If you disagree with them, stay away from them. This world is large enough for all of us, and everyone has a right to think and feel how they believe. They have the right through free will, through spiritual law gives us free will to choose what religion we want to follow, okay, to choose everything in our life, to choose whether we do good things or bad things with with the life that we're given. We all have a choice with everything that we do. Okay, for those who want to ascend, you have to be conscious of all the choices that you make. Do you go out to a store and not hold the door for the person behind you if it's not an electric door? Are you playing on your phone when you're visiting people instead of socializing? You know, those phones were distractions, okay? And so many people are on those phones 24/7. It's ridiculous. It's really ridiculous. You're being tracked, number one, okay, and you don't realize it. And you're being fed constant misinformation to keep your vibration low, okay? So, again, how do we raise the vibration of the planet, okay? We have to work at it, okay? And there's a job that has to be done if we don't want to continue to go down the rabbit hole, okay? If you don't want to continue to be in an endless cycle of reincarnation, figure out what it is that you're doing, okay? And do your best to make it better because you have the power to do it. Stop hating your neighbor because they're different from you. Stop trying to think your religion is superior to someone else's because there's space for everyone and respect for everyone. Personally, I respect everyone's religion, regardless of whether I agree with it or not. Okay? That's not for me to judge. Okay? It's not for any of us to judge. And we don't just have Christians and Jewish people and Muslims in the country. There are many people, okay? And many are not going to like what I have to say. Satanists also have a place. If that's who they choose to resonate with, that's their business, okay? It's not for us to judge or to hate, okay, religions that are different. It's not for us to do that. That's up to each individual. And like I've said in earlier videos, you know, we need balance in the world, okay? Everything is about balance. You can't have light without dark, and you can't have dark without light. And, you know, for all those who think that they're going to get rid of what they perceive to be evil in the world, it's not going to happen because energy cannot be created nor destroyed. And whether we like it or not, and like I said, it doesn't matter. The other people who believe differently or choose to resonate with uh, 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 a uh, a deity that's different than what you resonate with doesn't automatically make them bad. Okay, I've known Satanists in my lifetime. Okay, and like I said, I respect everyone. I respect all the deities. Do I resonate with that? No, but that's okay. But I do respect it for what it is. Okay, and if it wasn't supposed to be there, Source, God Most High wouldn't have created it. Okay, so you have to remember that. It's all part of the plan. It's all about us learning to understand our differences and to be able to get along without hating each other, okay, for who we are, regardless of who we are. And especially for, those who say that they believe in the Christian faith and Christ consciousness. Okay, part of that religion, and I know this, firsthand because, 13 years of Catholic school, you are supposed to show love to everyone, regardless. We are not to judge. We're not to love. We're not to steal, cheat, kill. It's all there in the Ten Commandments. It's all there. And I see so many who, and this really, it's one of my hugest pet peeves aside from these smartphones, is those who wear a cross and they spew hatred towards other people, or they feel superior to other people, or they think they have the right to decide who belongs on the planet and who doesn't. That is not anyone's decision to make. That belongs solely to the creator. We don't have the ability or the permission, okay, to want to mistreat others because we disagree with them. Okay, and remember, when praying, okay, yes, guardian angels are here to protect us and whatnot, but they're not our personal possessions. They're not. Okay, they're there for everyone. Okay, and you can ask for help and protection, but don't think that you can use them any which way. It's not cool. They are a spirit. We are not above them. They are where they are. We are where we are. Okay. And any other, deity that you resonate with, it's not there for your personal disposal. They're there for guidance, and allow them to guide you through meditation and give them love, again, love and gratitude for who and what they are, for their protection, for their guidance. Okay? So if we can learn to do that, we can raise the vibration of the planet. But it's up to us. It's up to us to want to do it. It's up to us to, say a loving word to someone. It's contagious. You know, spread your unconditional love. Tell somebody that you love them unconditionally, regardless for who they are or what they are, regardless whether you agree with them or not, because that helps raise the planetary vibration. When you sit there and you think there's nothing I can do, that's a misconception. There's plenty you can do. You just have to put your back into it and do it and practice it every day. Okay? There are so many that don't have. There are so many that are living in the streets, and it breaks my heart. It breaks my heart when I see animals being abused, you know? And I send love to them always. And I ask the Creator always, please look after your babies and watch them. Look after those that don't have. I don't judge them. I don't judge a homeless person because you don't know how they got there. And that can happen to anyone. And you don't want to wish that upon yourself. And don't wish it upon anyone. And don't judge someone and say, oh, they deserve to be there because they were this, that, or the other thing. You don't know everybody's story. Okay? You don't know what caused them to wind up in that situation. They don't want to be homeless. An animal doesn't ask to be abused or put into a cage. Okay? As human beings, we are selfish. Okay? We don't protect the planet. We shit it up. We throw garbage all over the place. We refuse to recycle. And what's worse is we accept, the behaviors from large corporations and companies that create things that are unrecyclable, that are piling up in landfills and polluting the beauty that was, bestowed upon us. We're so undeserving as human beings. We're so undeserving. And we complain if something wrong goes, something bad happens with our car, or there's a repair that needs to be done in your home. Be thankful for the home. Be thankful for the car. Shit happens. We could start looking at life that way and saying, hey, you know what? Where's my responsibility in all this? Then you can begin your path to ascension. I'm going to leave it at that today. I hope everyone is doing well. I want to thank everyone who's here. Mainly my true subscribers, because I do have, unfortunately, a group that watches, but that's okay. Okay, I wish them love, send them loving energy. Let them do what they're going to do. God will take care of the situation. I don't worry about it. That being said, I want to thank everyone again, and know that I appreciate you, and I send you all unconditional love. And we'll talk to you soon. Take care.